Hello, Timothy Darrell Young, BSMPA. Thanks for the couple of folks that saw my videos already this morning and commented. It's so nice to connect and try and help other targeted individuals. There was a man on Twitter that was complaining about the broadcasting into the straight dude's rectum for torture that myself and other TI endure. And I was able to pass on to him my solution of N52 level magnets. You can buy like a small roll of them for $12. You can even then put that wrap it in like I use a rubber like part of a rubber glove like you would find at a hospital, and then wrap that around the magnet and then replace that every once in a while, and medical tape behind my male posterior. And the sensation when they come in broadcast in EMF form and they're like over there, what they're trying to do is, I think, hit some kind of leached nano that has been leached out of my skin, possibly some of the speculative sensation that I barely recognize when they're unable to get the same effect. So taped N52 level magnets, if you're getting electromagnetic form raped, either by some leaching of what's in my body or the magnetic properties of the high-powered magnet N52 level have stopped the rape terror, drive you crazy. You know, it's not gonna like you're gonna be having much sex at the same time too. So it's nice to be able to see some feedback on that. To be honest, a little amateur peer TI targeted individual. It was so nice to hear a man that this was happening to write me back pretty immediately saying that he was going to get the magnets. That made me feel good that it was going to solve his problems for him like it did for me. And then sort of had to maybe ask a couple of different times to hear back from maybe some other folks on Twitter if they employed the technique themselves. So that feels good. And what else is going on? So I'm enduring the same broadcast. I got a device along with what may amount to be a Tesla coil off a shielding website that talks about making it through electromagnetic. I think it may be a Tesla coil, creates like a light. Mine may be blue. I saw another TI talking about it in Germany. And you run this device, like if in between the coils, if you put certain materials that'll like light on fire, you really want to take some, safety precautions in running it. But what it does, like in this space here, it creates a light in the electromagnetic spectrum that the perpetrators also occupying that in EMF broadcast form can't see you. And so it makes it harder for them to like lock on you to torture you. I'm trying a reasonably priced lead medical hat, and that I have a baby monitor that's non-Wi-Fi on static for other mitigation stuff that I picked up from other TI. And I'm able to get by. I'll be 40 next month. Not suicidable. I tried. Not going to do that anytime soon. But I'm so, at this point, and I'm, this may be controversial and stuff for some, but like, 70 years approaches and I want to live, long time, but wheeling myself someplace for a protest too. And then also because I have so little trust in what may be in my body, and then also remote neural monitoring and stuff I don't totally understand with the B system. I don't trust moments of death so much with all this shit that I've been exposed to. And a lot of these EMF gang stalkers like presume that or think that there's no life after death. I'm still thinking about getting about 6 sticks of dynamite when I'm 70 or 80 or whatever. And disrupting all of my sense organs one final time and blowing up this head so that it couldn't be misled at moments of death. Not really glamorous, but not exactly setting yourself on fire to protest the Vietnam War, but similar. That may seem kind of weird, and I may get weird reactions or appropriate reactions, and what I'm doing is weird to like, or talking about is weird, but I sure as hell don't want to reincarnate here. So, and the satanic misdirection talk that I gave here about the stuff with people, like faking people around you that look like your parents to ruin the real relationship with the parents. Neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, is being used on me as a TI. Vague language to create hostility. Some of these perps that are broadcasting into my room are bitching, either real or concocted, that their mom now knows that they're psychopaths and stuff like that. What else? Yeah, I mean, I don't have all the answers to all this, and I'm really being misled myself too. And maybe I'll cut this video off now and just thank you guys, particularly for TIs that have watched my channel. I love you guys. You're like my number one priority. We don't get to hang out much. If you know the terminology, like this gang that keeps still hanging on around me is in heavy perp light formation. And then through like virtual drives and the secret internet that, that's involved in this gang stalking that Kevin Christian's exposing, there's all kinds of elaborate stuff that they're doing that impact members of their gang in satanic misdirection, and then the gang will work over the general public and get people believing few-word lies and community slander. Anyways, they sometimes try to explain it to me. I try not to let it process, or it's hard to ignore it, but you can try and push things out of your mind. My experience as a TI is different than Kevin's. On my experience, this gang really, really, really tried hard at a false religion angle, and it's an insult to call this a religion. It's a failed Zug streak and other criteria. But yeah, they're like, the phrase of mind control cult has come up, and other set design EMF perps faked around me, like shit that went down a couple of years ago when I was like homeless in the city of Oregon City. Was a lot of this. What's going on with Kevin Christian as a TI in Atlanta? For this TI in the Northwest, they wove in this elaborate, like shelved plan, like I talked about, pre-planned, like world religion was something maybe that they were trying to angle with. But it's really targeted individuals being tortured and lives ruined. It's an insult to call it religion. Anyways, there's more research that I can do. But dynamic shielding, roughly stated, may be our future, or useful in R&D, instead of, for example, the U of O hiring some shit-eating grin, smiley asshole taking a paycheck for work that's already been done to study brain-computer interface. It's like, not happy about that. Anyways, I love you guys overall. They render me into getting pissed. Don't believe the lies. And if you're seeing any of this like on a virtual drive stolen, like my material getting cycled through a psychopathic, narcissistic head of their gang stalker group, mind control slaver type, like, you know, or you could email me or my phone number, like go to my website, send me something on Twitter. Like I'm meeting people from Twitter and Facebook that are other TI. Like, I don't know. It's bizarre. The David Wilcock, a researcher, writer in the UFO communities and hard to understand concepts and light about shit, you know, conspiracy theories, esoteric knowledge and shit. He talked about in an interview that or a little talk that he was doing with another guy about how he would go to film a talk, and then like on his YouTube channel, it would get like 3,000 hits or something like that. But then it would get stolen, more or less probably a lot by these same virtual drive EMF gang stalker information thieves and other absolute Satanism. But some of that stuff happens to me, and I'm not as aware as maybe like a Dr. Catherine Horton. Unfortunately, Twitter shut down her account recently. She would talk about the same thing. She's like, you know, if it shows on YouTube that I have 4,000 people show up, that's really more like 15,000 and stuff like that. And they'll sit here in electromagnetic gang stalker broadcasted consciousness form and do satanic repeaters to try and punish me for working about how much they're stealing from me. While their real body, passed out catatonic on machine, is laying in feces, urine, and if they're consistently raping each other, or, you know, definitely the humans, and 52 level magnets, then they have the third ingredient of their cum. So I've been poking fun at them in some of their own language, using euphemisms and stuff, and they're reading my mind at the same time. But I recently discovered a little Tim and Eric Awesome show, and he does this bit where he's like trying to be the worst food show host ever, and he's putting together ketchup, mustard, and relish, and like whipping it up and then making a mess and calling it something fancy like Russian sauce. And I'm able, some like sociopaths, I understand, hate getting humiliated when they don't respond to fight or flight in normal circumstances. So I've made comparisons and had great humor of jokes about the Russian sauce, Pissman's mustard Tim uses on his show, some ketchup, and then the relish. That as where their catatonic bodies are, their shit, their piss, and their cum. So the Pissman's, this may not make sense to a lot of people, but I love making fun of them on this one recently. The Pissman's is their urine, the tomato is their feces, and then they're always trying to bring out the relish. Their demon psychopathy DNA spuge at their catatonic bodies when they're like raping people in 3D around here, just trying to bring out the relish. So, and that's like at the top of these gangs or whatnot. That's who like they worship, the people that are like weaker or under mind control or just don't care, or coerced, forced into Satanism, or willfully go into Satanism. And I just get shit upon. And their shit views. The Phuket Mafia. I mean, shit.